Welcome to Englewood After Dark, Episode 15, Unlikely Allies. Englewood After Dark is a serialized horror audio drama, and for the best experience we recommend starting with Episode 1. Content warnings for this episode include graphic descriptions of violence, character death, trauma, and conspiracy talk.
Hey there, intrepid mystery lovers, and welcome back to Englewood After Dark. I'm your host, Eve Pemberly, the last sane woman alive, apparently. Normally, I'd be joined in the recording studio by Sir not appearing in this episode, Finn Nightingale. But, well...
Finn's busy chasing shadows with a magic walkie-talkie.
Oh god, he's not using that in public, is he?
Considering that I kicked him out of the room for being annoying, yes he is.
Right, well, we'll have to make sure he's not pestering people once we're done here.
Feel free to try.
You're not going to come and collect your roommate?
Is he a danger to others or himself?
I don't think so.
Any more mysterious underground societies you've managed to piss off lately?
God, I hope not.
If he's not in mortal peril, he's your problem. I had to listen to him rant about his plans to get proof for the podcast over the last week, and I'm not letting him back in until he calms the fuck down.
Wonderful. Anyways, our returning listeners will recognise the familiar crabby presence in the room. With me today is Finn's roommate and all-around misanthrope, Seb.
Thrilled to be here. Truly.
Finn, apparently, needed more than a week to cool off after last episode, so we're giving him a break to get his head on straight.
Is that what we're doing? Because it only seems to be getting worse.
It's not the first time Finn's tried to go ghost hunting. Eventually, he'll come back with something he thinks is evidence, and he'll be satisfied.
Do you really believe that? The guy went commando for an entire semester of high school because he dropped a haunted necklace he bought on eBay in his underwear drawer. He's not exactly good at letting shit like this go.
Why did he buy a haunted necklace if he was afraid of it?
Why did he buy a Ouija board if he thought it was dangerous? Don't look for a logical explanation, it's Finn.
Well, Seb, that's why you're here tonight. Frankly, I need a break. Someone who isn't going to start going on a tangent about phantoms and poltergeists.
Couldn't you just get Carmen to help with that?
I would, but she has a habit of playing devil's advocate. I'm getting nowhere with this case, and people spouting nonsense about ghosts isn't going to help.
So you're enlisting me, someone who gives exactly zero shits. Sounds like a solid plan, Evelyn.
Oh, come on. I know you can't believe in this paranormal nonsense, right?
Of course not.
And I'm sure you'd like to get Finn back to his normal levels of obnoxiousness, right?
I guess?
Then the quickest way to put a stop to that is to prove it's not ghosts.
Fine. But you owe me. Now give me the details. I haven't been keeping up with the show since you two stopped antagonizing literal cartoon villains.
Well, for both first-time listeners and Seb, we've been reviewing the case of the locked room murders that occurred in Sycamore Hall about 7 years ago.
Isn't that a little recent for you guys to be digging into?
Yeah, but, well, after the Brotherhood, I was looking for any case that didn't fit their MO, and this very much didn't. We're looking at 2 possibly full murders, all occurring in Sycamore Hall, all behind locked doors with seemingly no way of a killer getting in or out. No traces of anyone but the victims being in the room when it happens.
And how did they die?
Very excessive stabbing.
Define excessive?
30 to 40 times.
Christ.
Yeah, whoever the killer is was either on something or had some serious rage issues. Even then, they'd have to have a lot of strength to keep up that level of anger enough to stab someone 42 times.
Do you two have a fucking death wish?
Excuse me?
The Brotherhood was an accident, sure. But now you're chasing after a serial killer who's operated within the last decade, was never caught, and can find ways behind locked doors without leaving a trace. Honestly, do you two get off on this?
Ew, no. It was a flash in the pan, Seb. 4 murders over a very short period of time. No longer active.
Whatever you say, Eve. God damn it. I'm gonna have to start showering with Finn again.
Seb, if anything, I think I'd be the one in danger. Out of the 4 victims, only one of them was a man, and I think he only got caught up in it because he just so happened to be in the same room as another victim. And besides, I can take care of myself, so can we refocus here? I want you to be prepped for when our guest calls in.
That doesn't...
Wait, where the hell are you going?
I've got an idea, just, vamp until I get back.
What do you mean, vamp?
I don't know, I heard Finn say it.
Of course. Well, regardless of Seb bailing on me, at the very least, I'm not left here alone. We have a guest who'll be joining us any minute now. Lily Cooper, former girlfriend of Laurie Lockwood, the second victim of the locked room murders. She's reached out to us for a chance to add whatever information might be helpful, and... speak of the devil. Hi, Lily. Thanks for joining us.
Hi. Can you hear me on your end all right?
I can hear you just fine. Thank you again for agreeing to speak to us. Well, I suppose just me today.
Oh?
Yeah, Finn's feeling a bit stressed and his replacement just ran out to do something. So just me today. I hope that's not a problem.
No. No, that's fine. I'm actually a little relieved. No offense, I've listened to a few of your episodes before coming on, and Finn just seemed a bit over-enthusiastic.
His heart is in the right place. Anyway, I'm glad, at the very least, that you're more comfortable with just me. You said you listened to a few episodes before coming on? Does that mean you're not a regular listener?
Sorry, no. Some old classmates of mine sent me a message saying you were covering... well, if I could help in any way, I wanted to.
Well, we certainly appreciate you reaching out. I've got a few questions for you. I know 7 years isn't that long of a time, so if at any point you want to stop, just let me know, okay?
I'll be fine, I think. But thank you.
Alright, well, leading up to that night, did you notice anything out of the ordinary?
Laurie had been hearing sounds in the room for a while, like scratching and stuff. But with what happened to Vanessa, every little bump and noise was setting people on edge. We were trying to focus on our game to take our minds off of it. Our softball team had made the playoffs, and that week neither of us had been focused on much anything else, even each other. We'd won the first 2 games, but Laurie had tweaked her knee towards the end of the second one. She sat out the 3rd game, but it was clear that with one woman down, we were most likely going to lose. The night of that 3rd game in the playoff season, that's when it happened.
You two weren't seeing much of one another that week?
Well, it's not that we didn't want to, but Laurie's roommate was around, so I didn't stay at her place. Her roommate wasn't all that considerate of other people in the room, walking around loudly, borrowing stuff without asking, opening windows wide open in the middle of the night so she could cool off even though it was freezing out. And Laurie couldn't sleep anywhere but her own bed. She was like the princess in the pea. We didn't have much free time that week either, so most of it went to keeping up with classes. The rest was taken up by softball.
I see. So, given you didn't spend much time with her that week, is it possible she might have inadvertently angered someone, or did she have any enemies, no matter how trivial? I only ask because of the severity of her injuries.
I'm sure it's possible, but very, very unlikely. Laurie was the least confrontational person I'd ever met, even if it meant quite literally running away. She'd avoid conflict at all costs. She wouldn't even let me fight on her behalf. If someone was angry at her, she'd just apologize profusely until they went away. So it's hard to imagine a situation where she'd piss someone off that much.
So everyone liked her.
Every now and then, a guy would ask her out, and she would shoot them down. A few of them would get pissed off that she didn't like men, though nothing like that happened around that time. If it was someone like that, they'd have been harboring that grudge for a long time.
I'm sorry I have to ask, but can you recall as much as you can from that night? If that's too much, I understand. You don't have to.
No. This is exactly why I called in tonight. Like I said, Lori tweaked her knee before that night. Nothing serious, but if she'd played on it, it could have made it worse, so she had to sit out. And after playing the third game in our series without her, I knew we were going to lose the rest of our games too. Everyone else in the team had their hopes up that we'd get him next time, but I was sulking. I'm not a very good loser, and I was cycling between anger and disappointment. Lori thought I was mad at her for being injured. I told her that wasn't true, but I don't think she believed me. She invited me back to her room, said she'd ask her roommate to sleep somewhere else that night, and I said okay. I tried to cheer up for her sake, but every little thing was just adding to my frustration. The bus got a flat tire, and everyone had to get off for nearly an hour while they fixed it. That delay made us miss getting food at the cafeteria, and neither of us had extra money on hand for delivery. And going back to her apartment, we had to spend half an hour retracing Lori's steps to look for misplaced keys. By the time we actually got in the room, I was livid, and she didn't know how to help. I told her I was going to take a shower. She offered to come with me, and I told her no. Said I needed to cool off and clear my head, and that I'd be better after that. So I told her to stay behind.
Lily, we can...
I'm fine. Anyway, I didn't hear a thing in the shower, but as I stepped out of the bathroom, I could hear a bunch of people rushing down the stairs. I had to go that way too. Everyone was muttering to each other, and I realized that they were gathered around Lori's door. I didn't even know what was going on at first. I heard people on their phones calling for help, people pounding on the door trying to get Lori's attention. I pieced together that something had happened before we managed to get the door open, but I didn't. I'm sorry.
Take your time.
It was the blood. It was so thick that it was almost a taste. Someone tried to do CPR, I think, but I couldn't move. No one could have survived that. No one.
Did you see anyone suspicious in the crowd?
No, I wasn't really in the right frame of mind, but I remember looking at everyone there. I was thinking that this was some fucked up dream. And I looked at them like to help. And it was the looks on their faces that made the reality sink in. I turned around and threw up all over my sneakers.
That's okay, Lily. Really. Thank you for sharing. I can't imagine what that must have been like.
Is it true you helped solve a case for the police recently?
I mean, yeah, we did, but...
Promise me you'll find this creep. Okay?
We'll certainly try our best. Was there anything else you noticed that you wanted to share with us?
No, I can't think of anything else right now. But I'll reach out if anything else comes to mind.
We appreciate that. Thank you so much for your time, Lily.
Of course. I'm gonna go now.
Oh, she's gone. Well, Seb isn't back yet, and I think we all need a moment to recover from that, so let's cut to an ad break, and we'll reconvene once Seb gets back with whatever he's doing.
Hey there, intrepid mystery lovers. Yes, I know you're probably missing my charming wit and lovely voice this episode. And while I did mean what I said about not coming back without proof, that doesn't mean I would deprive my fellow theater troupe members of the advertisement they deserve. So come one, come all, to the murder mystery event of the season. That's right. One of the members of our cast is a murderer, and it's up to you, the audience, to figure out who done it before the curtain closes in our production of The Game is Afoot, written by our very own Emile Brizois. Put on your sleuthing hats and break out your pipes to see if you can deduce the culprit before he strikes again. Plenty of audience participation and improv fun to be had with this one, folks. So if you're looking for a good time and fancy yourself a detective, come on down to the Arts Building and get your tickets. We'll be performing Saturdays and Sundays for the next few weeks, so plenty of chances to join in on the fun. Hope to see you there.
Jesus!
You can just call me Seb.
Sebastian Russell Reckless Westwick.
Fuck off.
I feel like you kicking your way into a room wielding a laptop is very armed and tech support of you.
Please. The damage I could do with my laptop would make most weapons of mass destruction cry, but this isn't my laptop.
It's not?
No, shitty library rent-a-PC. Wasn't going to go all the way back to the dorms for mine.
Then why not just use your phone?
Tiny screen. Plus, I don't trust you enough to give you my phone.
Hey, I'm incredibly trustworthy.
No. I've seen you. Whenever someone shows you a picture, you always go to swipe through the photos. Like an animal.
Okay, so maybe I'm a little nosy.
Whatever. Look at this.
Meet hot Asian singles in my area? I'm okay, but thanks?
Piece of shit university laptop doesn't have ad block. Here, look at this.
Oh hey, it's Marshall Moore. Englewood Stalker's reign of terror brought to a gruesome end.
Exactly.
Wow, this guy died right outside of Sycamore Dorm.
That's not the important part. Click the tab.
Oh, the hot singles are back.
Here.
Young women are being advised to ensure their doors are locked and to not travel alone at night after a series of gruesome murders have rocked Englewood. Okay, so Englewood has so many crimes like this.
The young women were killed over the course of 2 months. They were kept alive for 24 hours and tortured.
Jesus.
But the thing that struck me was they were kept inside their own apartments, locked in with their killer and stabbed multiple times.
Locked in?
Exactly. The first victim was, Kate Saunders. She was found in her home after she never showed up to visit her sister down in Tennessee. She'd been stabbed 6 times and was found in her bed.
That's why they called him the Stalker then, because he knew her habits.
The police at the time suspected that it was a close friend of Kate's. Who else would know she was going out of town, that they wouldn't be interrupted?
Or a stalker with a creepy amount of knowledge about his victim.
Yep. The police finally pulled their heads out of their asses when Mary Elizabeth turned up dead. Neighbours found her after a dog showed up on their doorstep, 2 days into her annual leave. And the Englewood Stalker was born.
And Mary Elizabeth was stabbed 9 times and kept alive longer too.
You read fast.
I skimmed to get to the figures. Interesting escalation.
Yeah, the deaths only sped up from there. Next was 2 weeks between murders, then only 1 week between victims 3 and 4.
Did he continue to spend more and more time with his victims?
Yep, as far as the police could tell. Also more stab wounds on each of the victims. Wendy Lee had 12 and Constance Young 13.
That's interesting. And grim?
Yep. Constance's apartment was intense.
How so?
Wendy's apartment was fully trashed after her death. Like, he lost his temper, right? He destroyed a lot of her personal items, pictures, teddy bears, and the like.
And he did something different to Constance?
That's the thing. He also destroyed Constance's apartment, but not as well. Got interrupted by a fucking Jehovah's Witness.
What did he leave behind?
Rose petal, champagne, romantic shit.
Oh, that's messed up. In some sick way, he probably thought of the murders as, what, a date?
And the stalking as romance.
And so he destroys the apartment when the date goes badly.
Right, and the longer the date lasts, the more insane he becomes when the women can't become his sicko fantasy.
That's all horrifying and all, but the Englewood stalker was killed, right?
Yeah, some kind of grisly accident on campus, but tons of weird stuff happened that year. They called it a mass psychosis event.
Holy shit. Stephen, what did you do? Is he still alive?
What? Help. I didn't. I didn't.
Yeah, I remember that from our preliminary research. But the point is, if he died, what does he have to do with anything?
I don't know yet, just listen. It took the police a long time to figure out who he was. The victims dried up, so they knew something must have happened to him.
Right, serial killers don't stop of their own volition.
Exactly. Plus, he'd been speeding up, not slowing down.
So how'd they figure out that Lionel Wench? Dear God, that's a name that'd make you a serial killer.
Yeah, poor fucker did not win the name lottery.
Not all of us can have our legal middle names be reckless.
Parents really should have thought that one through. Gave me a license to do whatever dumb shit I wanted.
Like?
Breaking my ankle, doing a backflip, walking home on it, getting aggressively stoned and thinking my foot was trying to escape.
Wow.
I also once broke both my arms days after each other.
How?
Skateboard.
Okay, anyway. What was I saying?
You pissing off everyone named Lionel.
Oh, right. Sorry to everyone at home named Lionel. I was trying to ask how they figured out it was him.
Right, so a co-worker went to his house to get a picture of him from his mum for the memorial service. She found all these really creepy ledgers in his room.
Oh, stalker manifestos?
Yep, and real detailed retellings of their lives and the time they spent together.
Ugh, gross.
Yep.
Why'd the coworker snoop? Seems kinda weird.
Well, that's the worst part. She saw her own name on one of the journals.
Oh god.
Yeah, close fucking call.
I think that was a whole body shiver.
Warranted. She took the journals to the police, and just like that, they knew Lionel Wench was their guy.
Are you thinking there was someone else?
Don't know, but it bears mentioning the Englewood stalker is like the murder farm. Everyone knows some version of the story.
Even you, apparently.
Reddit.
There's a Reddit post about this? Wait, what am I asking? Of course there's a Reddit post about this.
There's a Reddit post about everything, including the murders.
You said that like it meant something, but we've just been talking about the murders.
No, as in, someone found this guy's creepy incel blog, took screenshots of his demented fucking fantasies, and cross-posted to Reddit.
Jesus.
Yep, look.
I am being haunted by the hot singles in my area.
I'm gonna throw this thing in the fucking trash. Here. That's a face journey.
Oh god, this is dark. Really dark. I am not comfortable reading that.
Weird fucked up fantasies aside, the Redditor dug deeper and found his actual Reddit account. It's okay. Not as creepy gross, just regular crazy man internet gross.
Oh, that's a lot of women-hating subreddits he was a big fan of?
Lots of these are defunct now for obvious reasons, but it paints a pretty clear picture of who this fucking weirdo wench was.
You can delete things from the internet, but screenshots are forever.
Precisely. Ugh.
What?
He worked as an IT guy. That's how he was able to gain access to their homes and their webcams.
Oh god, it's always the webcams, isn't it?
People didn't used to have recording devices pointed at their faces all day long. The modern world is one tech-savvy creep's paradise.
Ruining the good name of IT guys everywhere.
Fucking arsehole. He'd go to their house, fix their computer, and leave a window open so we could sneak back inside later.
And that's why you always check your windows after someone comes to your house.
In case they're serial killers?
No, also for burglaries. Happened to me as a kid. They stole my brother's PlayStation and a bunch of jewelry. It sucked.
Apparently he knocked on the door to lure them to it, and then broke in through the window, waiting until they relocked the door.
I hate this guy.
Yep. Someone's jumpy.
Who's knocking? You think Finn decided to join us after all?
Nah. Thanks, man.
You ordered pizza?
Finn told me you guys always have food, so I thought we'd get pizza.
You're my new favourite co-host.
Don't let Finn hear you say that. Neither one of us is equipped for a full-on Finn meltdown.
I didn't think they delivered to campus.
They don't deliver to the dorms, but this isn't the dorms.
Maniacal.
Veggie supreme half for you, meat for me.
You need to listen to yourself talk sometimes.
That one's on me.
I'm just pleasantly surprised you remembered my pizza order.
Of course I remembered your pizza order.
You're secretly a big softie, huh?
No, I'm just always the one who has to call to get fucking delivery.
Okay, jeez.
Speaking of which, I need to get onto these guys about online delivery. What year is it?
There are a lot of overlaps here, aren't there?
Yep, and a lot of the information is public knowledge if you have an internet connection.
We should dig into this more and come back.
You just want to eat your pizza.
And do a bit more reading.
Fair.
Okay, lovely listeners, we'll be back after this commercial break and a brief time skip to talk theories. So don't go anywhere. Do you like books? Do you want to give back to our campus? Or perhaps you just love the sound of your own voice? Then boy do we have a treat for you. This weekend, our campus library is hosting its Voices of Englewood project. A crowdsourced audiobook where Englewood students will come together to record an anthology of classic short stories. If you're interested, you can inquire or apply at the library desk, or through the library's online portal. I'm going to be there personally to help with the audio and recording, but also to contribute my voice to the project. Yours truly will be reading and recording Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart, which seems perfectly appropriate and morbid. We hope to see you there. Alright, Zeb, it's theory time. The floor is yours.
Only because you want to eat the rest of your pizza and judge me.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, I'm the one who made the connection in the first place. Why do I have to do the heavy theory lifting here?
But you didn't draw any conclusions?
I do have a conclusion, but you're going to hate it. So when I start talking, shut up, eat your pizza, and let me talk.
You're lucky to have brought such a favourable offering.
Look, Finn isn't the sharpest tack, but he's not brain dead. When he says, maybe it's ghosts, he's not completely pulling it out of his ass.
Whatever.
Don't make that face at me. Last time around, Finn got close enough to something that people kidnapped him, and from what I can see, there's a lot that doesn't add up in these locked rooms.
If things added up, the police would have handled it. We're here to make connections that other people don't see.
Really? I thought you were here to tell campfire stories and spook students, and since Finn's having a sulk, you're stuck with me. So at least let me be the devil's advocate.
Well, at least you could be reasoned with, and bribed. But really, Seb, I thought you said you didn't believe in this esoteric shit.
I think any programmer who says they aren't a little superstitious is either a genius or a liar. We tricked rocks into thinking. If that's not magic, I don't know what is. I was once stuck rewriting one line of code for 2.5 hours trying to compile it without errors. Then Finn comes along with a bit of fucking Jasper and sits it on my hard drive. On the next compile, everything fell into place like magic.
I don't think healing crystals work on computers.
I'm not taking that chance. That Jasper hasn't moved a fucking inch since then, and it's not going to until I graduate.
Well, we are learning a lot about Seb today. Alright, I've already run this superstition gauntlet enough times with Finn. Let's hear it.
I don't know much about ghosts, but they're supposed to be created when someone dies in a really traumatic way, or when the person killed was really fucked up. That's how you get haunted asylums and prisons.
And you think that's how you get a spectral Lionel Wench?
Why not? He killed a bunch of people and had an incel manifesto. That's a fucked up person if I've ever seen one.
I think we need a bit more than why not to justify ghosts, Sebastian.
When you have eliminated all which is impossible, then whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth.
Don't you dare.
Arthur Conan Doyle. The Casebook of Sherlock Holmes.
Objection! Using detectives against me is cheating.
I know you've already ruled out every mundane theory so far. Supernatural shit is starting to feel more likely.
Okay, let's entertain this. How do you even investigate supernatural shit? Am I supposed to agree with you, say ghost did it, and call the mystery solved?
Fuck, I don't know, ask Finn. He's been doing it for a while now. Help him out. Follow him around campus with his overpriced ghost box thing.
We've disproven every mundane theory so far, but that doesn't mean they're all ruled out. I have a new one.
One that explains every single other inconsistency thus far?
Maybe, I won't say for certain, but what if there's a copycat killer? Like a dedicated copycat killer?
Anyone copying a serial killer is already pretty fucking dedicated.
No, beyond just the killing. Now we know how Lionel Wench was able to operate. He used webcams to spy on his victims, and he was able to enter their homes under the guise of an IT guy. What if our copycat killer is using the same techniques to move about unseen?
More killer techies?
Maybe. It could also be a little different. Think service workers, like electricians, plumbers, carpenters maybe. Especially one who might have a master key to the dorms for repair purposes. They'd need to be able to move from room to room unimpeded.
Did any witness report a suspicious dude in overalls creeping about?
Well, no, not that I know of, but would you notice? You can get into a lot of places with a fluorescent vest and a clipboard because people assume you're meant to be there.
What about Lily? She'd have noticed something. The timing was too precise.
Right. That's why I think it has to be someone with enough technical expertise to hack a webcam, like Lionel did. That would explain how the killer knew exactly when to enter the room.
That is a lot of assumptions.
Yes, but it's still a possibility, and that means your key argument for Ghost did it needs to prove my theory wrong first.
Did you forget Laurie's blog post? Sounds coming from inside the room, banging and scraping. Sounds pretty fucking ghostly. We have testimony for supernatural shit that needs to be disproven.
Actually, I think banging and scraping sounds are a perfect reason to let some kind of maintenance man inspect the room, for vermin in the walls or ceiling. The killer may have orchestrated that to gain entry. But since you brought it up, I was also interested in the blog post. Though I hit another dead end, while I'm glad that Lily showed up to speak with us, I didn't have any luck with the other person mentioned in Laurie's blog. Laurie's friend, and she lived in the Sycamore dorm too, Tara. I hoped she might know something that we don't, so I went digging, searching through Englewood archives. There were a few Taras at Englewood around that time, but I actually found her name in some of my old notes from months ago. And unfortunately, it's a bit late to ask her anything.
She moved out of town?
Yeah, she's dead.
Shit. That'd do it.
Yeah. Seems like there's a lot of unease on campus around the time of the Loughreen murders, especially in Sycamore dorm. Some of the students took the deaths hard, some took it a little harder than others, and a few of them couldn't take it.
I found confirmation in an Englewood newspaper from August 2015, in the obituary section. Tara Arkster took her own life on August 16th, 2015.
Sorry, Tara Arkster?
Yeah, we mentioned her once before. It's weird.
Yeah, cool, hang on. Tara, like Finn's sister Tara?
Finn doesn't have a sister. And that's not Finn's last name.
Half-sister, and yeah, not anymore. Finn doesn't call his parents often, but I've heard them talk. He had a sister called Tara, died years ago.
Seb, how long ago did she die?
7 years ago? How long ago did this Tara die?
7 years ago. Oh my god, Finn.
Motherfucker!
Finn has a sister. Finn's sister was connected. He knew all along. Shit.
Well, don't just fucking stand there, get your shit, we've got to go find it.
God damn it, Finn. Do you need to be so dramatic? Shit. So long, farewell, whatever.
You just finished listening to Englewood After Dark, Episode 15. If you've been enjoying your time with us, we'd love it if you joined our Englewood After Dark community Discord server, or gave us a rating on your listening app of choice. This episode starred Dennis Ortman as Finn Nightingale, Hannah Brown as Eve Pemberly and Maeve Coyle, CJ Macaulay as Seb Westwick, Beth Lindly as Lily Cooper, and Eli Labat-Angstadt as Lionel Wench. Written and sound designed by Hannah Brown, Dennis Ortman, and A. Rose. Special thanks to the talented Athan for our on-air music and Nicholas Gasparini for the opening theme.